Welcome to Raider Talks. I am your host, Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra, and today's exciting day to be an NFL fan and to be a Raider fan, but the schedule release was today, so now we're going to talk a little bit about it. We knew the opponents we were playing, but now we know where we're playing them at, what times, what primetime games we have, so it's going to be very exciting. We're going to go through all the games, kind of probably predict the Raiders record, and also we're just going to talk about some of the highly anticipated matchups.
Yeah, this is a fun time, because then everything's just right around the corner. I know I keep on saying it, whatever, but now draft is gone, free agency and everything has, come and passed, and we're getting ready for, the real OTAs and mini camps and training camps and, openers in 4 months. And crazy. Raider football's in 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. Openers in 4 months. It's just crazy. I'm excited.
I feel like this has been the fastest offseason yet.
Yeah.
Since I've been.
Because it just seemed like it was yesterday. Me and you were at the Raider Charger game. We won. We made it into the playoffs. Now here we're sitting getting ready, to come into this season.
Maybe it's because we're doing the show. Maybe it feels like we're connected with the Raiders all the time, so it just feels everything just going by faster. But schedule release, we're going to get things started. I'm glad you're watching the show, because if you're watching the show on NFL Network, it's basically the Ram show. So we're going to start this thing off. Week 1. We're picking up right where we left off. Raiders, Chargers, Week 1, Sunday, September 11th. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's in LA, but we're going to pack that place out. It's always in LA.
It's our home game. It's our game.
In San Diego, in LA, it's always majority. Everyone's wearing black. Everyone's a Raider fan. That's going to be a good one. It's, a division. This division's going to be stacked. Everyone's whatever. So we get a taste of it week 1. And we'll see what their new highly anticipated defense is all about. And they'll see what our top offense is about, and
our new defense, our new improved defense.
Yeah. And this should be a good one. I'm excited. And someone in that division is going to go 0-1, and someone's going to look really, really pretty after week 1.
I think this is a perfect matchup week 1. You got the Chargers, Raiders, and this is building off last game of the season. Sunday night, we broke their hearts, and now they get another crack at it. First game of the season, chance to break our hearts on the first week in their home stadium. So we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited about that one. I think that's going to be a very fun one, highly anticipated, and I just love how it just builds on the story we had from last season.
Yeah. Technically ended the season with these guys. Come back, first crack at each other. DC versus Herbert. It's going to be a good one. Yeah,
let's do that. That's going to be a fun one. We'll do all the predictions later for games. Week 2, we'll start flying through these a little bit more. But week 2, home opener, Arizona Cardinals, September 18th. That's going to be a fun one, and we're going to be there.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
We'll be there.
That one's going to be a cool one. Home opener. It's going to, for all the fans who can make it out, it's going to be your first time seeing in-person live, Davante Adams. We talked before the show. I hope they announce offense first.
They are, for sure.
Just because I would just want to hear Davante Adams. It's going to be excited. I'm pumped up. We're going to home opener.
We're going to see the home opener we're going to see Davante Adams in a Raider jersey in Allegiant Stadium for the first time.
Yep.
So that's going to be exciting. Raiders, Cardinals, a team that started off really hot last year, and I expect them to start off hot again this year.
Well,
be clicking.
Yeah, and then they're without D-Hop the first 6-8 games. So
they're starting the season out in Kansas City. So when they go to Kansas City, or I think at home, but they're playing Kansas City. So that's going to be a good test for them first week, seeing where they're at. So if they beat the Chiefs and they come to Vegas, it's going to be a highly anticipated game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a fun one. Kyler Murray, Oakland Athletics outfielder. But Kyler Murray. So that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt, all those guys.
Yeah. It's going to be a good home opener.
That's going to be a very good home opener. And if we can find a way to whoop them up, then I think it gets everyone riled up and pumped up. Week 3. I say this is going to be a tough matchup for us. Our first really away game. We're in Tennessee, September 25th, facing Derrick Henry in that Titans offense. Got Tannehill there. We'll see how that one goes.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans, a great regular season team.
And I like playing them in September. You know, it can get cold later on in the season in Tennessee, Nashville. So I like how we're just playing them early. You know, might be a little warm game or whatever, but a good time to face them. You know, we're going to have to face them at some point, so.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. They got a great running back in Derrick Henry. They definitely got some weapons on that team. But it's definitely a Derrick Henry show.
Yeah.
Give him the ball, let him go to work, see if anyone can stop him. So that's going to be a fun one. A good test. Tennessee Titans, a great regular season team, like I said. They dominated the last couple seasons. I think they were the number 1 seed going into it last year.
Yeah.
So should be an interesting one. Should be fun. First 3 weeks, I think we got 3 big tests, and then going to week 4, it doesn't get any easier as we got the Denver Broncos
at home.
That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to this one because everybody's all now, they're Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
They're this, they're that. Russell Wilson didn't take the Seattle Seahawks to the playoffs last year.
No.
And I think they have this, not the same identical team, but, you know, I think we talked on the previous show, numbers and, you know, advanced numbers, like, it was kind of identical.
Yeah.
So if he couldn't take that team to the playoffs, what makes you think he's going to take this team to the playoffs? You know, and I'm ready to shut Denver up. And, you know, this is going to be a good one. You know, it's always a close game with these guys. And I'm just ready to show that the Broncos aren't as tough and good as everyone makes them out to be, just for one acquisition.
Yeah, that's kind of a storyline you have right there. Everyone's hyping them up. The Raiders swept them last year, and they're still putting the Denver Broncos over the Raiders, even after the Raiders make all these great moves.
Yes.
And made a run and made the playoffs last year. Like you said, Russell Wilson, a quarterback that couldn't take his team to the playoffs last year. I know he got hurt for a little bit there, but even when he was the quarterback, they weren't doing too good. So we're going to be facing Denver and Denver. So we got 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
Tough games, and we're heading into week 5 where I think it gets tough again. So this first 5-week stretch, we're really going to see what kind of team we are, and we'll be facing the Kansas City Chiefs week 5 in Arrowhead Stadium. Always tough to win there. They're a really good football team. They got a great tight end, but we'll see the lack of Tyreek Hill, see how that's going to work out for them, and we're going to know after the first 4 weeks how it pans out for them just a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at it right now. Throughout the first 5 weeks, you got 3 divisional games. You play everybody, you know, and that's going to be after the first 5 weeks. Us, because I don't know anybody else's schedule. We're going to know where we stack up with everybody going into our bye. You know, you'll get to it right now. Week 6 is our bye, so going into our bye, we'll know exactly how we stack up with everybody, and if this division is reachable and if this division is ours. That Kansas City one's going to be a good one in Kansas City. Monday Night Football. Yeah, no, that's going to be a really good one. DC versus Mahomes.
Yeah, for sure. Week 6, we got the bye, so that's going to be a gauntlet 1 through 5, and then going to week 6 to bye. I want this team to go 5-0 going into that bye, and I think I'm feeling great. But I think we need to be 4-1. If we're not 4-1, I think it's kind of a little bit of a failure until that bye, that little little stretch.
You've got to have 2 division wins going into that bye.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, not to say, we can lose against, you know, whatever, but we have to have at least 2 division wins going into that bye. If you go 1-2, 0-3, then it's pretty much, hey, we're looking at wild card. Maybe, but
yeah.
You got to have at least 2 wins going into that bye.
This just means that we need to come in. We need to come in hot.
Yeah.
We need to come in from ground running. And that means probably that our players are going to play in preseason this year. We really need to get going. We have a gauntlet. So in preseason, I'm sure Derek Carr and those guys are probably going to get at least a half, especially to those last couple games.
I would, yeah, and I have it right here because we played 4 preseason games now. One's against Jacksonville, Minnesota, Dolphins, and the last one at Patriots.
Yeah.
I believe maybe if you're going to do that, hey, let's get ready for the season. I'm looking at maybe the Miami game where everyone's going to suit up, play at half. And, but yeah, no, this, we need to be for reals.
Yeah, I think we need to be 4-1 by that bye week to show we're really for real. And like you said, we need to have 2 out of 3 from our division there.
Yes.
And then heading into week 7, I'll say it's a little bit of a personal one for DC. We're going to be in Allegiant Stadium. We're playing the Houston Texans, a team that really didn't do Derek Carr's brother any favors, David Carr, and also a team we faced in the playoffs without Derek Carr. So I think Derek Carr is going to really want this one, playing the Houston Texans in Allegiant, a team that's not expected to be great this year, but I feel like they're always a little bit of a tough team to play.
Yeah, no, you can't take any team lightly.
In the NFL.
This is the National Football League. You can't take any team lightly. But coming off the bye, playing them, it is a kind of, hey, good, no matter what happens in those 5 games, we're going to come out the bye, refresh, and ready to go. And we got the Texans. Like you just said, Texans are not expected to do anything. And so, yeah, it would be nice to come off the bye with a good little easy win, even though there is nothing easy in the NFL.
Yep. Week 7 in Allegiant Stadium. Week 8. We'll be going to New Orleans, playing the New Orleans Saints. It seems like we have had their number the last, years.
DC's had their number.
The years we played them. So this should be a fun one. This is another team that they're expected to be a solid team. I hear people hyping them up. I hear people saying they're not going to be any good.
Because you don't know what they're going to get.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. I think this one...
but I think it's always tough to go play in the Superdome. And you're playing the Saints, so pretty historic franchise. So it's going to always be a tough one against them. Week 8, kind of middle of the year. That's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. With the Saints, you really kind of don't know what you're going to get. Every time you play the Saints, hey, we're going up against Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Well, they're both not there. And Dennis Allen, that's the first game he takes a crack at his old team. So it should be a good one. Going into the Superdome and playing.
Yeah, I sure expect to beat that team, beat the Saints in Week 8. Again, we'll get into all those games and kind of predict those wins and losses. Week 9, we'll head on over to Jacksonville. We'll play the Jaguars. This is really a team that's supposed to be kind of bottom of the barrel. But you can't be... Trevor Lawrence is a winner. He has a new coach, new system. We heard everything that happened with Urban Meyer. And that was crazy. That was just bad. It was terrible, and no team can win under that type of circumstances. So it could be a whole different team next year by the time Week 9 comes.
Yes.
So you never know. But as of now, on paper, it looks like we need to beat Jacksonville in Week 9.
Yeah, now we're at the point
where...
But
it's in Jacksonville. Always tough game away.
Yeah, now we're at the point to where it's... you can look right now in Jacksonville. They're still going to rebuild, still do this, and then go out and win a whole bunch of games throughout Week 9. And all of a sudden, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
So you got to take a part of that now going forward. But yeah, going up to Jacksonville should be a good one. All these should be a good one, and we'll see Trevor Lawrence for the first time.
It's the National Football League. I have confidence in my Raiders, but nothing's easy in the National Football League. And it's always a tough game. Looking at the schedule, everything looks like a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like a Super Bowl matchup. Going to Week 10, I think this team is going to want blood, and they're going to want to beat us in our stadium because we beat them in their stadium last year.
We killed their hopes.
We killed their a little bit. They needed to win one. They need to win 2 games. They need to win 1 game out of 2, and they end up losing to the Raiders and the Jaguars to be exited out of the playoffs, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're coming for blood next year.
Oh yeah, and you already have,
and they're a very good team with a very good run.
You already have Unique. Hey, I'm gonna make them pay when we play there or whatever. Yeah, no, they upgraded at the quarterback position. I think everything stayed the same. Then they have the addition of Unique. But like you said, last year we went in there, we took care of business in a really good game, in a do or die game.
Yep. I think it's a very hot Indianapolis Colts team.
They were really hot at that time. So
Jonathan Taylor, like the world's best running back.
And now Week 10, we start looking at playoff seeds, what's going on. We want to be in the race for the division. But this is one where, just in case that's not there, just stuff happens, you look at that wild card and be like, okay, this is the team that we got to definitely put away and get the win. So then we got that heads up tiebreaker over them.
Yep, for sure. That's a good team that's going to compete in Week 10. Week 11, we'll be heading down to Mile High Stadium, playing the Denver Broncos. It's getting later in the season. There's going to be a time where we're going to need to start beating these AFC opponents, and especially the AFC West opponents, for wild card and for AFC West purposes. We want to win the AFC West, but just for Just in case.
Just in case.
Denver Broncos, Week 11. That's another fun one. We already talked about them earlier. And then we'll be going Week 12. I don't know what quarterback we're going to be facing. I'm guessing maybe Drew Lock. And we don't know what kind of team it's going to be. By the time Week 12, we'll be going against the Seahawks. And we're in Seattle. So
yes.
Seattle, it's always a tough game in Seattle with
that
crowd.
Loud, no matter what.
Know, they have the 12th man, whatever it's called. But you got the Seahawks, and that's always a tough one. We don't know who they're going to be.
Exactly. We do not know what they're going to be. Is Drew Lock going to be that guy? I mean, they're going to have 11 weeks to look at him.
Yeah. I mean, we said it last year. We think Drew Lock has the potential to be a really good quarterback. With this,
and this could be it.
And this could, I mean, he has Pete Carroll.
Yes,
he has I think he has a better fan base around him. I think he has a lot of things. And he never know. He might be like a little breakout year for him, and it might be one of those years. I mean, I think it could be one of those years like remember the Colts and they had Jacoby Brissett, and he kind of went off that one year. I feel like it could be something like that. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what they're going to be. They can put a good little 11 weeks together and come in, and that could be a really good game, or Drew Lock and that whole experiment doesn't work, and we're facing some backup or whatever, you know what I mean, and they're ready, looking forward to next season at that point.
Yep.
But like I said, it's getting later into the season. You need to go in there and get the win.
Okay, I think this is a big stretch for us after that Seahawks game, and we're going to be facing the Chargers Week 13 in Allegiant. Week 4, well, let's go to the Chargers. Week 13 in Allegiant. That's going to be another big one. Again, getting later in the season, for AFC West, implications.
Yeah, and this is the one where this is your last crack at them. No matter what happens at Week 1, you can put them away. I mean, I'm just saying, you can kind of put them away in the division.
Yeah.
If we're leading, hey, we'll put them away and be cool. Or, that's another one where, we're going to have to be fighting for maybe a wild card spot and whatever, and you're going to have to get that dub to get that, tiebreaker and head-to-head.
And this is around the time where sometimes we get cold, so we're going to need to get hot around this time because we are facing good teams. But there's a really big stretch for us, Week 13 through 15, because Week 13 we're in Allegiant, but Week 14 we head back to our second home, SoFi Stadium, as we face Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl champs, on a Thursday night.
On a Thursday night.
So a primetime game, huge game for Las Vegas.
And this is two big games to where you have that week and a half that you got to prepare not only for the Chargers but for the Chargers and Rams.
Yep.
And with a couple off days to heal up, and
that's tough right there. A Sunday Thursday is always tough.
Yeah, and and it's not like you're gonna go play a Thursday against just a random somebody. You're playing against the defending Super Bowl champs.
Yep.
In their home.
A team I expect to be good next year and be a playoff team, win the division.
Oh yeah, 100%. So it's gonna these 2 weeks late in the season. It's going to be huge.
Yep. And then we go Week 15, and we're back at home against the New England Patriots, and this looks like a primetime game.
Sunday night,
5:20 p.m. We have a Sunday night game against the Patriots, and this is a big game. This is a bigger game than what we think. Tuck rule. Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler is the main
and
part.
Belichick's had a number.
Belichick's had a number, but it's really about Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler versus Belichick and whoever.
Who's going to run that system better in that game?
Yeah, who's like the Patriots mess up? I mean, I don't know.
No, that one's going to be a good one.
Never mind. The Patriots could have messed up by getting rid of them. Assistant coaches, but it's I guess a little bit Patriot versus Patriot type of thing.
It's going to be our first look.
Yeah,
and
I feel like this can be one of those things where we can like kind of overthrow them, beat them, and kind of they decline a little bit.
And
it's gonna be a fun one.
They're not gonna run the same exact stuff, but Josh McDaniels does know how Mac Jones work and how they're gonna set up and do. So that's a tiny advantage. But, we are going up against Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick's had DC's number since his rookie year.
Yeah, it's going to be a
really good game.
It's going to be a battle. Just glad we're playing at Allegiant Stadium
on a Sunday night.
On a Sunday night, in that,
late
in December.
Yeah, so, late for all these things, and next is Steelers, whatever. But all these games are going to be must win because of that wild card scenario, or
Yep.
even just staying on top of the division. I think this division is not going to be won in week 13, 14. It's going to be won in week 17, 18.
I think so too.
And we're not gonna sit there and get our shirts early. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit there and we're gonna work for it. And this division is gonna be won late. And Kansas City always runs away with it. By week 13, they're celebrating, having their shirts and hats ready, while the rest of the league are just waiting to crown their division. But this division is gonna be crowned late, and now these are must-win games.
Yep. And then we go for our third straight primetime game, and we'll be facing the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Eve. That's going to be a fun one. Be with the family watching the Raider game. Also, we're playing a Steelers team, and the Raiders and Steelers have a rivalry a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Raiders have Steelers numbers. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and you don't know what you're getting.
No.
As of right now,
you have Kenny Pickett
and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I think you have Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to be there.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
But they're interesting. Pittsburgh is an interesting team because like you said, you have those two quarterbacks. But I think Tomlin's a great coach.
No, yeah.
And I think Tomlin's always going to put out a team that can beat anybody any given Sunday. So I think it's going to be
too, and one. you have somebody quarterbacking for that long, and then they leave. The past shows that the year after they leave, they're not going to have a good year.
Yeah.
Patriots didn't have a good year after Tom Brady left.
No.
Peyton Manning left the Colts, and they had the number one pick.
I think it's a little bit different. The situation that Ben Roethlisberger was kind of done.
Well, yeah.
Brady and Manning weren't done when they left.
No.
So now Pittsburgh might be feeling better. Oh, we're getting younger, getting faster at the quarterback position.
I still see a tiny decline, maybe. Maybe just a tiny bit.
I think they're going to be kind of around the same team they were last year, personally.
But they weren't a playoff team last year.
Close.
They were close.
They're close to a playoff team.
They were a missed field goal away.
Yeah. And I think in this next year's NFL, I think you can't just win 9 or 10 games and expect to get in next year.
Yeah.
And then week 17 will be in Allegiant Stadium, a little Bay Area rivalry a little bit. We don't care about the Bay Area really, but Vegas Niners in Allegiant. It's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a really fun one. That's gonna be interesting. That might be a game we might want to go to.
Yeah,
that's gonna be depending on where we're at in the standings. But Raiders Niners a little bit. It's a rivalry. It's a rivalry game. Raiders fans don't like Niners fans. Niners fans don't like Raider fans. Raiders don't like the Niners. Niners don't like the Raiders. So week 17 coming down to the wire. This could be big games for both teams too.
Yeah. This is. Yeah, they put us late. That's kind of weird. I thought they were going to put us kind of earlier, a primetime game. They put us late. Now it's must win. This is going to be going. I look forward to every time we play the Niners, just because of people we know and so much crap talking.
This
and everything.
This is huge right here too.
But this is huge.
This is huge because you're playing your last 2 games at home.
Yes,
and probably must win games depending on what happened throughout the year.
Yeah.
So you got the Niners, and I think. Although people are going to say that Niner game is huge, I think Week 18 is going to be the biggest game, and it might be one of those games that determines AFC West title.
It might be just like last year.
Last year.
Like you said,
I think both teams will be in, but
it might
for the AFC West title.
Yeah, who's going to get
the 1 seed or 2 seed?
Yeah, who's going to get this seed? Who's going to get the 5 or 6 seed?
And we're going to be facing the Kansas City Chiefs, Week 18. I'm guessing if it's a big game, it's going to be a Sunday night.
Or if it's
yet to be determined.
A Saturday night, they do that that Saturday night doubleheader.
So that's going to be Chiefs Week 18.
Yeah, this I'm pumped up. I'm excited. The only thing about this schedule that's like really is just one primetime game in Vegas.
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing. I think everything looks better at night in Vegas.
Yep.
And our stadium is beautiful no matter what. But just
what did I tell you earlier though? We'll have an extra 3 primetime games. If we take care of business, we're gonna have an extra 3 primetime games, and then we'll go to Arizona.
Yeah.
And have the biggest game in the year. So, Raiders need to take care of business and get their primetime.
I think if everything is set up how it's gonna be, you have that Charger one that can possibly be flex. It is a December game.
Yeah.
From December on, they tend to flex stuff and get good
and week
games
17
in there.
against the Niners could be flex as well.
Could be flex if everything's all working out good and whatever. And this is a good little schedule. I think on here, it's that gauntlet of week 1 through 5, but then after that you come back and not with the easy, but with a good little 4 or 5 game stretch of the Texans, the Saints, the Jags, the Colts, the Broncos. And then it's go time, and I think everything after the Bronco game from Seattle on
playoff
is must win.
Yeah, must win. We got a gauntlet this year. I saw earlier where I think our strength of schedule was 6th or 7th, one of the two. So it's never easy for the Raiders. We'll never have a bottom schedule. I noticed the Cowboys have a bottom schedule every year. They're second to last in strength of schedule. I just had to mention that because that's America's team. But yeah, so it's going to be a fun schedule. It's going to be tough, but it's really going to set. If we can get past this schedule, we're going to be feeling good going into playoffs. So, what are your record predictions for the Raiders? We won't go game for game, but what are your record predictions for the Raiders this season?
Out of 17 games, I think we have the ability to win about 13 or 14 of them. And I think we can go 14-3, 13-4, and at least get a playoff spot. I mean, I have no idea right now how many wins are going to get you the division.
No, you never know. He might need 16. You never know. It's
but I think to feel comfortable,
or you might need 13.
To feel comfortable, at least 12. But I think this team is more than capable of getting the 13-14 win mark and then go do something big in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would put us at the 14 mark, 14-3. I was thinking 15, but I'm getting crazy. I'm a Raider fan, so I'm obviously gonna be. I'm thinking 17-0. We need to go 17-0, but we're gonna take a game at a time. But I think we're gonna be a 14-3 type team.
And you know what I think too. I think we're gonna split with everybody except the Broncos. And you know what? That's not bad.
See, I think the opposite of you. I think not the opposite, but I think we're gonna sweep the Broncos. I think we're gonna sweep the Chiefs. I think we're going to take over this division this year. And I think we're going to split against the Chargers, another young upcoming team that I think is going to be better than the Chiefs next year as well. I think we're going to split against them in 2 crazy games. But I think we're winning week 1.
I just want a winning record over the AFC West.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Because you can't go 500 or below and win this division.
No,
you're not going to do that.
That's not going to happen. But you never know. If are the Broncos as good as people are saying? Are the Chiefs going to be just as good or better than they have been in the past?
Our Chargers going to click.
Yeah, and if the Chargers click, then it might be one of those years where it's about what you do outside division because everyone's going to go 500 inside the division. Because
for the past, except for last year, the past 2 or 3 years, you can say, oh, well, the Raiders, no matter what they do in December, they crumble. And then last year in December, we went on a 4 or 5 game win streak, made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
we crumbled when they...
I don't want to say, hey, Chargers always find a way to screw it up. But they have. Last year they went into, I think, Houston, right?
Yeah.
And Houston, a big game. And they lost a big game and just opened up everything.
Yeah.
And me and you talked after that, hey, this wildcard race is opened up.
Yeah.
And after that, we went on our run and did whatever. So I'm not going to assume anything. I'm not going to, whatever. Our division is going to be tough. All 4 of these quarterbacks are top 10 quarterbacks. And whoever prevails and wins, goes to the playoffs, it's a huge win. And whoever wins this division, kudos to them because it's going to be a gauntlet no matter what.
Yeah. But it's unexpected. What we know, it's unexpected. What's going to happen?
Yeah, and
do we need to win? Do we need to win 5 out of the 6?
And to be honest with you,
if we go 500, does everyone go 500 in the division?
Yeah.
And then it's what we do outside the division that matters the most.
Maybe.
What's like?
Are we going to beat up on each other and get a win? Everybody get a win against each other. Everybody go 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody go 500. And then, all right, let's see what everyone else is going to do outside the division. Or is it going to be, hey, this division is really good. We're going to go beat up on everybody outside the division. And this division is going to come down to what you do in the division.
Yeah, that's
and
quite a big question.
You don't know, and and this is
or is our division getting overhyped and it's not as good as we think it is?
And this is probably something that we're probably going to have to come back to, before the season. Maybe a week before September 11th, and and then come back and do another. Hey, how do you think we're going to do this year? Because a lot of things can change. God forbid, you know, training camp injuries and everything.
Injuries happen. So
yes,
it's going to happen.
You know, and, you know, holdouts and just a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah. Not only for us, but for every other team and every team in our division. As of right now, you can sit here and look at the schedule. Hey, we're going to go do this, do that. I think it's good to say, hey, you know, 13 wins, 14 wins, you know, whatever, we're going to do this. But in reality, we're not going to know until probably until after the first game.
Yeah,
but
I think
you would have a
I
better
think we're not
good idea
know until after week 5 going into that bye.
But to, you know, when all the rosters are locked and good, you're not going to have a good idea until a week before opener.
Yeah, and then we'll come back to this discussion probably then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Schedule release, a little bit of predictions, and obviously I think we're going to do more predictions going closer to the season. But we'll see you guys next time, and we'll definitely see you guys for the Raiders home opener. We'll do a video outside Allegiant Stadium.
Live in Vegas?
Live in Vegas, like we did last year. And we'll be at the game passing out maybe some gear and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun. But we'll see you guys next time. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.